Welcome to another episode of Some Podcast. My name is Arlo. My pronouns are they, she, he.
I'm Yumi. My pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Suin. My pronouns are she, they.
All right, cool beans. How was everyone's week?
The last 2 weeks, I am
2 weeks.
currently sitting in Seoul, South Korea at 1 a.m. on my bed to record this with y'all.
Absolute jet setter.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
literally
did you-
reminded them in the group chat, I packed my mic and my cord. Please remember we were recording
Yeah.
this.
Gentle threats. Like, I packed this shit. You better be available for recording.
but
This is at
What
least
airline did you
1
fly,
kilogram.
Yumi?
Huh?
What airline did you fly?
That's a good question.
I flew domestically from Newark to Seattle because the Asiana flight to Seoul was much cheaper. It was about $900.
Oh, for sure.
Are they
And then use
are the Asiana airline flight attendants, are they still wearing that weird looking pin on the back of their hair?
You know, I
That
wasn't
looks like an
actually
upside
paying
down
attention.
cancer ribbon.
Oh, you know,
But it's like
don't
thin
think so.
and gray and tan.
I haven't seen it. I will
Yeah.
also say they're still wearing that like weird tan colored uniform.
Yeah, like the
They
weird
all are pretty.
natural colored.
They are still all
It's
pretty.
like skin toned.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, I guess maybe not for Korean women
Because
because they're not
they're,
like
like,
tan, but
Because they're
for
pale.
me, I'd be like looking naked.
they are not tan.
But
Big
yeah,
fan,
the,
though.
the flight attendants, they got fans, guys.
They do.
For sure.
Fans.
For
I mean,
sure.
like people. I mean, I can imagine though. Like in my head, I've made up that people fly based off of the flight attendants,
You know, I think
I can see that.
right?
in the past few years, I feel like Asiana has always had pretty flight attendants. I find all the Korean flight attendants pretty intimidatingly pretty. But I will say, I think Korean Air has recruited away the prettiest of like the two since they're merging or whatever. But they're
Oh,
all still
yeah, big
really nice and
merger.
pretty. I will say, I think Asiana flight attendants are like
R.I.P.
kinder. Because I've seen them like literally lay on the ground to help an old couple retrieve. a
Ladies, we don't
fallen
need to do that.
AirPod. Yeah, one of them was
Ladies,
like,
we don't gotta
they
do
got
it.
the ones that had like the pants on that day. But they were like on the ground and like they saw me
No.
like look so cheerfully and like appreciate
No
their hard
service
work.
job is worth that.
They asked me
You
to
don't
write-
have to do that.
They asked me to write a compliment note, and I was like, "Girl, I'll do that for you. I will. I will." I was like, above
Wait, you
and
need a
beyond.
note. You need a note.
I wrote it.
You need
I wrote it.
a verbal reference. You
And then
need
I
me
wrote
to
my
talk to your
children's-
manager.
Yeah, I wrote my childlike chicken scratch Korean as much as I could in Hangul, and was like, "너무 좋았어, 너무 착해요." I was like, "How do I talk? How do I translate this?"
You were like on Google on your phone, and you were like,
Yeah, with
"How
no
do I
Wi-Fi."
translate this?"
"Where's my talk to text when I need it?"
Oh yeah, text to talk. That really comes in handy when it's Korean. Especially
Yeah.
like when I'm talking to like my halmoni.
Yeah,
Oh man. What's
Yeah.
the text to talk?
that's how I spend
know
all
what
my
to write.
muntas on Katalk. I'm like,
I use
I
the
can't spell this.
photo one, where you like take a picture and then it translates the picture for you. I use that
Oh, yeah,
all the time.
That function's great.
Oh, that
Because my
is
parents are
so
out here sending me links, and
Oh,
you're like,
no.
or photos, because you know screenshotting is a big thing. So like, they'll send me a screenshot of like a Korean thing, and I'll
Yeah.
be like, what? I was looking for like a water filter, and Korean people listen. The water filters in Korea,
parents' house?
They're obsessed.
next level. Okay, the
Costco?
one in my parents' kitchen literally like sings. It's like doo doo doo.
Yeah,
of
the
course.
Costco
Doo-doo-doo.
are crazy. You can
Has
rent
to.
them in America now. They have like
Yeah.
payment plans.
Yeah, payment plans, and it's like hot water.
I would love to have one, but my apartment's like you can't have jack shit in your apartment.
No. And so I was like, where do you get that? I want it. And she
Hella
sent it to me,
expensive.
and it was just like a Korean poster.
Oh.
And I was like, I can't read that.
Google.
So
it.
I had to like Google, do the
like, you
picture,
put your phone up,
translate.
and
Like
then
you
you're
put
like-
it in the Google Translate. You can like upload photos,
Yeah.
and it'll like translate it for you. And like that's like useful. And I used it a
It's
lot in Korea
useful.
too, because I couldn't read signs.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, I could
thought you
read
meant-
signs. I
I
just
thought you
like
meant,
didn't
like,
know what it was saying.
You were writing in English, and then you would take that picture, and then you would translate into
Oh.
Korean, and then send that.
No,
what
that's
I was like, that's why I was like, wow, that's
you're like 6
impressive.
steps later.
No, if you use talk to text in Katalk, it writes the Korean so much better than like the Apple keyboard in iMessage too.
Mm, yeah.
So I'm learning how to write the words
Yeah.
I use on the daily, and because I have to read it and make sure it's
Yeah.
like writing this exact
And it
thing
gets like
too.
the spelling right, because like
Yeah.
you have, like
yeah.
it's like the oi,
The
ai,
the
like,
IE, OE, yeah.
Oi.
When are you supposed to use it? You never
It's such a
know.
distinctly Korean American conversation. Like I can't tell the difference between oi and
it
an
sounds
IE.
the same.
It's the same sound, but they are interchangeable and have random reasons why you use one over the other,
Yes.
That's
and you'll
crazy.
never know. It's apparently based off Hanja, probably, but I'm like, girl, what? I didn't
Well,
learn
I'm
any of
glad
that.
that we talked about Google Translate so early in our podcast.
Yes.
How useful it is.
How
If
important
Google would
it
like
is
to
our daily
one day
life.
sponsor us
Yo, Google
on the
just-
struggles
just to
of
let you know.
immigrant life, that would be really great. First
Must be
generation
better.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say
my
Apple
goodness.
Translate's also a pretty good app now. It's pretty good.
It's
I think it's a
don't
little
actually-
easier to use than Google Translate now.
I'm a supporter of the homeland. I don't use an iPhone, so sorry.
Oh yeah, Suin is very, very not.
It's because
Apple.
once you switch, you like. I used to have an iPhone. Like in college, I had an iPhone, and then I like. It probably the K influence really got me because I saw
Oh, really?
the new Samsung, the new Galaxy phones. The Galaxy phones were like pretty new, and when
Yeah.
we were in like when I was in college,
Oh yeah.
and so like I was like, oh, that phone looks like actually kind of useful. Like it has like a cool feature on it,
Yeah.
and I was like, just wanted the one feature. I wasn't like asking for a lot. But then after that, I like physically could not go back to an iPhone. Like
That's
I like
crazy.
it like really changed the way that I use my phone, and so I just like couldn't go back.
I
So
think
like
so
for
wild.
years since
You
college.
really enjoy like having like a computer in your hand.
Yeah.
Yes.
You like the
Yeah.
like the fact that you could really customize things.
I could like do
Yeah.
I could do literally anything. I could pretend like it's my computer in my hand.
I think that's a lot.
So-
That is a lot, and I know Apple's trying to copy a lot of it. But I love how we're becoming a tech podcast. But my brother, he builds his own PCs. for his gaming.
We're a Korean tech
We're so
podcast.
But he was an Android kid, and he's the reason why I think my parents were like easily in the Android Samsung pod. But he recently started in the last few years getting like the Apple iPhone Mini, and now he has like the 16 now. He just
The smaller
loves it.
phone
He-
is
yeah, he does love a
is
smaller
nice.
phone. He loved the Mini and the SEs, but he like loves the Apple ecosystem now. He doesn't use MacBooks though, so it's just like you're not even getting the full.
No, I think the MacBook
Thing.
is arguably. Well, I don't know why we're on this topic, but the MacBook I think is the best part of Apple's whole thing. So, anyways,
would
we should
agree.
move on.
We should move on. We're
Guys,
ADHD
this is not a
nerds.
cishet podcast. We can't be like talking about technology.
Actually, you know what? My last point is gonna be this. There's not enough non-white, like cis-het people making tech podcasts or like talking about tech, and I think there's a few people that are like transgender non-conforming or women talking about tech. Hashtag I Justine, one of the OGs.
Oh.
Like, there's not enough.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll pivot one day, but this is
Yeah.
just gonna be one of our special interests.
Yeah.
We can call them. I feel like when we have enough podcasts, we'll start having a series called "What's Our Hyperfixation."
Yeah, we'll just talk about reasons why we love our iPhone.
Arlo's
Or
like, "Where's the
Galaxy.
list start?
Hyperfixations?
Which one? Which
One day.
category?"
Okay,
have so
topic
many.
for another podcast.
Okay, so what is our topic for the day?
Yes,
was
please tell us, PD Arlo.
Also, your
Arlo
thing
PD?
doesn't say PD on it. I'm a little
Yeah,
upset.
Arlo, you should really change it to PD Arlo.
I changed it. I felt like.
No, you got to bring it back. You will have to
I-
bring it
I
back
felt
next
like
time.
My pronouns are a little more important.
You can't fit.
I don't know. I'm not. That's debatable.
PD is gender neutral. This is the.
It
this
is gender
the Korean
neutral.
part.
Yeah.
PD. Everybody is known by their jobs, anyways, in Korean culture. So
Just,
honestly,
like,
they're like,
change my
"Fuck
name."
your
Yeah,
pronouns. What's your
Arlo.
job?"
Just a little icon like right here.
What's your job?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
we
lower
need people
third.
to know that you're the one that gives us the topics and keeps
Yeah,
us on
you're
track.
leading the ship. You are our North Star.
You guys, if I'm leading this ship, that's a lot of trust.
We're just here to yap. Okay.
But yes, tell us
I
what
love that we're all here together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's important, you know? Like we just
Thank you
Even
for not
though
minimizing
100%.
our roles.
we're all very similar but also very different. And,
Vastly different.
and we have like like different intersectionalities. Like you guys have K-pop, you know? And then, you know, Sue and I met in nursing school, and then
Yeah.
Yumi and I went to high school. It's like all so different, but like
Yeah.
we're all so similar. It's wild.
We're just
I
some
think about it, and I'm
bros.
like,
We're just some bros.
Some bros.
Yeah,
Is this
just
what it
bros.
feels like to be like cis het bros?
yeah, it was
I feel like I would imagine, but there probably is less talking.
Oh,
In
I
like
have a
my
story about that
mind,
later.
I'm like, I feel like there's less talking. But like I've never.
There's not enough questions. That's
Yeah.
the stereotype going around that men don't
Yeah.
ask enough questions to each other.
Oh yeah, like they don't know much about.
well,
their
they're really good
friends.
at assuming, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, but tell us what we're
Anyway,
what
so
we're
what's our
meant to
topic for
talk
the
to-
day?
So the
Talk
topic
about.
today, I figured we all, on a segue of that, of being so similar and different, we all have short hair, relatively, but our style is very different.
Yes.
So I figured we could talk about that, and then I think that'll be a good segue into also talking about, you know, like our like coming out and like how the different challenges and like the hurdles that we had to overcome, and how we thought it was going to go versus how it went. And I think that it'll be an interesting topic, and you can be as vulnerable as you want to. And yeah.
Should we
There'll be a lot
start?
of
Should we
laughs.
start with Arlo? You want to kick us off?
Should we
the
start with the
connector
coming out
of the
first?
bros?
You
Or
wanna
should
start
you want to
coming
start
out
with the
first?
style, or should we do our coming out and then our styles?
Yeah. What do we
Yeah,
think
we
is
could do like coming out, and then I feel like a chronological order would be cool.
Cool.
Yeah, where does
How
the
we came
haircut
to-
come in?
How we came to our personal style.
Yeah.
Who we are today.
Got it.
How
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah,
we
yeah.
got here.
I love that.
Let's do that.
So
Kick
I
us
guess
off, PD.
I,
Name.
I will start. So I guess like growing up, I always knew I liked girls, like women, and even as a kid, like I just knew. And, like,
Sorry,
knew
should I
it
be
was
more
different.
expressive?
Gasp.
Sorry.
God. What age?
Like literally from the beginning of time.
Love that.
I
Since you
always-
can remember.
Dinosaurs roamed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the womb, I knew I was gay.
You're like,
Speaking
"Tuk,
of-
tuk, tuk."
Yeah.
There's
Where are the
science
women?
saying
Dup, dup.
it's the
That's so
hormones of our
Korean.
parents. It really is nature.
Yeah, so I kind of always knew, but you know, growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, like real deep Southern culture, it's
Yeah.
and growing up like Korean Southern Baptist was
Everything was against you.
it was really difficult, you know.
Seriously.
And I grew up predominantly in a white area, but like most of my close friends were Korean because I spent a lot of time at church, and it was like a Korean American church, like basically Korean church, and so I didn't really feel like safe coming out because my family's also pretty religious. And so then, you know, my dad passed away, then my mom remarried, and then that moved us to San Antonio, which is how I met Yumi at Clark High School.
Countdown
Insert character.
Insert an icon of the Alamo right here.
Ba-da-da-da.
It's just like a cowboy
Military city.
running across the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tumbleweed.
Just a horse.
Yeah, tumbleweed is a good one. Yeah.
And and then I felt a little more like comfortable in who I was, and then also had like, I feel like in high school we all knew we were queer, but like we didn't like feel safe or like really comfortable expressing it, but we all knew because we all hung out
Yeah.
with each other.
Right.
And then
You
a
all
lot
kind of, we
Just
always
like
find
didn't
each
want to
other.
say it out
Queer,
loud.
gay,
Yeah, the community always finds each other at some point.
Yeah, you gravitate towards each other.
Oh,
And so then-
100%.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my stepdad, his job moved us up here to the Northeast, in like New Jersey, New York area. So then I felt like I transferred to Montclair State, which has like a designated LGBTQ like center for the students.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's close to New York City. I can be as gay as I want.
You're
Let's
like,
go.
I'm near the closest liberal city in the country.
Yeah, like
Let's
if
go.
New York City is
Yeah.
Go
the
off.
gays.
Yes.
Excuse me. So then
Joins the
I-
Stonewall riots. Sorry.
Goes back in
Retroactively.
Different decade. Different decade.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, so I kind of told myself when I moved to New Jersey that I didn't want anyone to think I was straight. Not that it was going to be that difficult, but like I didn't want anyone to think I was straight.
Who were we
Mind you,
convincing?
Arlo did date boys in high school.
I dated one boy in high school.
Just one. Shout out to him. Shout out to him.
Not Arlo being. I'd like to set the record straight that it was only one.
He was a great guy. He was a very nice person.
Very nice guy. We did have trauma bonding, like you know, Dead Dad's Club,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
That'll
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
there. But yeah, so I had like really long hair. I dressed kind of feminine still, and I
As
really
feminine as
was-
you can be playing soccer in high school.
Yeah, but like in college, like I would like because we would go out in college, like to the clubs, like because that was what we did.
Yes.
So you know, wear the
Yes.
dress, wear the heels. We would go to
Oh,
Atlantic
the
City.
heel.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've never seen you in heels.
Strut.
Oh, and
I think I can
so-
barely remember your prom photo, so like it's even harder for me
yeah,
to.
prom, yeah.
Crazy.
I've seen a total of like one photo of Arlo with long hair, and I was like, I remember seeing it and being like, I actually
To me, it
don't
was always
recognize
up.
this person at
Yeah.
all.
Was your hair ever down in high school? I don't even remember.
It was like, this feels like a different person.
Sometimes.
Are you sure you're not showing me a photo of a different person?
I think I did wear it down, but I
you have another
usually
sibling?
always put
It was probably
up.
always up.
Yeah,
I feel
mine
like
was
that's a
always up.
common. Yeah, mine
yeah.
was always
Um,
up. Not just being like ours was always up, so yours was probably also always up.
I mean, not wrong. So yeah, and then I graduated my sophomore year of college, and like all my friends knew, and like I also like I didn't know how to tell my parents. And, like my
Oh.
stepdad's kind of like a man of few words in a way, and then like my mom, she's like pretty religious. So it was like kind of close to my birthday, and we went to lunch, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I made contingency plans with like my friends from college, be like, if it doesn't work out and I get kicked out, like I don't know what to do. So like, you know, I have really great friends, like, and they were like, well, if that happens, like, I already talked to my mom, like, you can come stay with us, and like
Yeah.
you can finish college, and then we can figure it out.
Oh, I love friends
all
like
need
that,
that
and their
friend.
parents.
I think that's why like chosen family is like so important.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like they don't choose you, or you don't choose them. Sometimes they just choose you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, they offer that safe space, and that I feel like is even
exactly.
bigger of a deal.
Yeah. And so I wrote a letter to my mom because I couldn't say the words to her because I just the overlooming thought of like disappointment was like I can't like break this to her. So I wrote her a letter, and then you know she was like, I kind of like I think God was like telling me in a way like he kind of put these things in my life recently, and I think this was why he did that, so that he knew that you were going to tell me, and that like I still love you, and God loves all of his children, and you know just because you're different doesn't mean anything. Like I don't love you any less.
Ugh.
And that was like probably
That's so nice.
Yeah, I was thinking I was like 21. No, I was 19 because I moved when I was I think I was like 20 at the time.
Ugh. Religion as a good coping mechanism.
Yeah, and
Talk
It's
about
actually
it.
really nice. So rare,
Yeah.
honestly. You
It's
don't really
so
hear that very
rare
often.
that people connect the dots like that.
Yeah, and and so I've been kind of out since then to like my whole life, not just like my friends, but like my family as well. And then, you know, I got top surgery like 3 years ago, and my parents, it's kind of one of those things where like generationally it's really difficult. It's like they still love me and care for me, but I don't think they could ever really truly understand,
Right.
you know, but that's okay because I know like they have their limitations. It's not like they don't love me or they don't care for me, but it's just like a slight disconnect because different generations, different cultures. It's like, you know, like gay marriage isn't even legal in Korea. So like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of tough. So like
Yeah.
it's like meeting my parents where how
They
how
are.
far they can, so that we're both not disappointed constantly.
Yeah.
You know, because that's not going to be a healthy relationship.
And it's not like
Yeah.
they're not trying. It's just like we just understand like there's that barrier and you can't really
Exactly.
get your hopes up.
Yeah.
There's like a level of like
Unfortunately.
willingness and understanding that I think that they've rationalized in their heads. They've rationalized probably so much,
Yeah.
and like their brains work in a very specific way, and they grew up a
Yeah.
certain way,
Yeah.
and you know they're just trying their best, and they still have love for you, and that's like I think that's really just all that's important. They want you in their lives, and they just like have love for you. There
Yeah,
was
like
no-
it doesn't matter, which is
Yeah,
I feel like it's just so
rejection.
rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. To quote 17, I don't understand, but I still love you. Great song.
The best.
Shout out to
thing.
the fan. Shout out to the Carrot and Weaver saying that to Hoshi one day. Great song. So relevant.
You know, K-pop's relevance.
Yeah,
Always
you
there.
know, it gets better and better.
The 17 quotes.
Yeah.
We're gonna be baiting K-pop stands.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, they mentioned 17." They're gonna watch our podcast, and then they're gonna be like,
Please stay. Yeah, I have a great story
like-
about Hoshi.
"This isn't what I signed up for."
You know what? They're just all
The
over
fact that that
place.
was an end to a coming out story.
Yeah, and then I guess also like it's kind of one of those things where like my style has also changed since then. I
Yeah.
think like I just saw like not a flashback, but like 10 years ago. Here's what
Wait.
was happening.
Oh yeah, like a memory.
Can we
thing.
guess what some of Arlo's early outfits were like?
Oh gosh,
So,
it's very stereotypical.
first things first,
baby gay.
hair in a ponytail, backwards
Yeah.
cap,
or a bun?
No.
tank top,
Okay.
boy shorts.
You know what's
I'm
really
close.
funny?
I'm close. I know
When
it.
Okay,
I
what's your
moved to when I moved to New York the first summer I moved here, there is a photo from behind of the two of us, or in the front too. There's a front of us.
Oh yes.
We're literally wearing the same outfit, just in different colors,
Yes. Yes.
and they are
Shorts?
like American Eagle chino shorts. You know, like 5-inch inseam, and some long socks, and some Vans or like boat shoes, and then just like a colored T-shirt
Oh, the Vans is a
snapback.
good clock.
or like
Yeah.
a 5-panel hat. And there's
I
just
think
like
I was
photos
wearing
of
a
us walking around
5-panel.
with our carabiner keys like attached to her,
We
her
gotta
belt
let
loop.
people know.
It was
Wow,
true.
amazing.
We really
I
would
would
look like
say
siblings.
suited, hair in a bun, but if I was wearing a hat, it was always backwards most
Yep.
of the time.
Yeah.
And then
There we go.
the hair was down though. Never.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
down.
okay, yeah.
You can't put a bun or
Yeah,
a
you
ponytail
can't.
in a
Yeah, I'm
backwards
sorry.
cap.
That's poor logistics on my part.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
Please.
You know better.
I do know better. I wore that outfit. I
We all
wore
wore
it
that outfit.
also.
We'll have to post on the Instagram. We'll just all three have like we'll do like a set photo, and just the photo of me and Arlo won't have a line through it.
Yeah.
Who will just be the photo?
Who's who? Who wore it better? Who wore it best?
Or better? It's literally
We'll
the
do like a
same outfit.
poll.
Oh my god.
I love that.
But yeah, and then I cut my hair 10 years ago, and then I've had pretty much
Ooh.
every men's hairstyle you could have, except for a buzz cut since then.
And what's been
Shout
your
out to my
favorite?
barber,
What's your
Tiffany.
favorite? What's been your favorite version?
Yeah.
Not including the one that obviously you're wearing today, because obviously today will be your favorite. But
Currently
I'm
my
assuming.
favorite. But I feel
Yeah.
like hair is like a great way to express yourself. and
Yeah.
my hair grows back so fast. Like you can see the little bleach. I did that
Yeah,
like late
dude.
in the summer, and it's already
yeah,
grown
you
out.
went hard with the dye. It was good.
Did.
It was
It
really
was a
cool
good
though.
look.
And then
Yeah.
a little purple there. I think I know this is like gonna be so silly, but like a modern mullet, but like
Yeah.
when my perm was like growing out, so it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
So it was a
yeah,
little
yeah. I
curly in
remember
the
that
back.
stage. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was
I think
good.
that was one of my favorites.
Did you get the sides tapered too?
Oh yeah, I got like
Oh,
a
yeah.
burst.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. You're
The curly
like one
hair.
of
It
those
was. It
gays.
looked good. It looked good.
Yeah.
You got it long, really long too. You were like,
Yeah.
this is weird. I haven't had hair this long in a while.
very long.
'Cause
Yeah.
the back got really long.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I kept like rubbing on like the back of my shirt. I was like,
My hair just flips out at a certain length. It's like my neck's too short.
You're like, why
I'm
is
so
it on my
sorry.
back already?
Yeah. Oh no, I gotta get a haircut.
Yeah, we all got them short necks.
yeah, we don't have the
Ugh,
like, gifted with
none
the
of us
long
have the
neck.
long necks. It's
Sorry.
unfortunate. I think Suyin and Arlo are tied for the longest neck of us. Oh, it's just like the stature thing is
Sorry.
also such a queer
We're
thing.
both doing the same
You
thing.
gave me a task.
We'll measure and post it.
But yeah, who wants to go next? Maybe.
Who do we think has the shorter story? Because I feel like mine's a little bit long-winded.
Let's do Yumi's because mine's probably pretty short.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very similar to Arlo in the sense of like I knew I was into girls. Thank you, Pocahontas. That was my queer awakening. I was
Jasmine
a
was
3-year-old.
Right away.
Right away. I was a 3-year-old. Thank you, Disney, for all your queer coded characters. And so I was in
I
pre-K.
feel like she's not that queer.
She's not that queer coded, but she was hot. Sorry.
True. Okay.
Thanks, Disney. Again. So
Understood.
pre-K, but I went to like a private school in downtown San Antonio, and we're playing on this playground, and I'm upset because I wanted to play John Smith because the girl I kind of thought was cute was playing Pocahontas.
You were like,
that day.
I'm blonde.
I just want to be
I
the guy.
deserve this role.
That should have been the sign, dude, about my like gender nonconformity of like I want to be the dude. Like that's totally normal. And the surprising thing is that like my pre-K teacher literally told the kids around me and was like, let Yumi be John Smith. Like this is stupid.
You guys, it's
But-
made up. It's fine.
Yeah,
That's what that
you
teacher
guys
was
aren't
like.
really
This isn't a problem.
in the Louisiana Purchase following a Native American through the
Guys, it
middle
doesn't
of
matter.
America.
All of this is made up.
There was no singing
Yeah.
tree or a raccoon.
But shout out to her, honestly, for
Who's the raccoon? I would have been the raccoon.
Honestly,
I would have
right.
been like me.
I should have been the
Choose
horse.
me. Sorry.
But ever since then, I feel like now that we're listening to people talk about it, it's kind of like I'm thinking about it. And I was like, I never realized that our religion as Catholics was necessarily like super conservative in the sense like gay was wrong, being gay is wrong or anything. I just kind of realized it was gay or being gay was a bad thing because I knew it was different. It wasn't like because I knew I was a girl at that point, and like girls don't really like girls like that, and so the only reason I really understood that being gay was bad was because of like real world people being like, oh, I couldn't come out to my parents and they like treated me horribly or like da da da, and that's kind of how I knew being gay wasn't so safe, even as like a middle schooler. And so I kept that all to myself for the really longest time, and because my Korean church really didn't say much about it. And if they did, as an altar server, I was dead asleep on the other side of the altar, so I was not paying attention because it was all in Korean. I
Our
have a
Korean
feeling-
ends at 우리 하나님.
yeah, or amen.
Yeah, but
Duh.
Actually.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 우리 아버지.
Yeah,
And
안녕하세요.
then you hear amen, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, you're
You're like-
I was
yeah.
knocked
You're like,
out.
yes.
Oh
Yes.
let me get the incense.
Where's the food?
Oh, I can bring down the cross down the aisle. It's so funny. I also wrote something to my mom coming out to her originally. The order of operations, though, let me actually say. At some point in high school, I had gone to Warped Tour, and the first person I've come out to in my entire family in either side was my oldest cousin. We're only a year apart, and we were really close growing up, etc. Not really close, but like just close. And I was just like, "Hey, I'm pretty sure I'm gay, and like hopefully you don't hate me. And like I know we're Catholic, but I really want to be like still want to like your cousin." And she was just like, "Oh, that's totally like." That's not a bad thing. And then she proceeded to tell me that she had like a secret tattoo because we were under 18. And I was like, cool. I just like came out to you. At
Also,
this,
like, you're both at Warped Tour. The signs were there.
we were coming home from Warped Tour, so like we were exhausted. I don't know. She took it very well, and it was kind of like great because, like her mom is one of my aunts that like has a lot of queer friends in her life, and like she's a little bit more of a quote unquote modern woman, and so like I knew I would be safe coming out to her.
Modern woman.
But coming out to my parents was different because I wrote to my mom as well, but it was an email. She was in Korea, and I was like, ooh. I'm gonna do it while she's not.
You
in
were
the
like,
country.
I need her to be as far
away as possible. She
Seeking
can't kick me
opportunity.
out of the house quite yet, and she's never gonna say anything to my dad. And so while he's watching us in high school, I was thinking I was a sophomore too. I was like, Mom, I just hope you'll love me forever. Like this won't change anything, but okay. And then she calls me like the next day. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, why is she calling me? She was like,
You're like, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. You're supposed
she
to kick
took
me
it.
out.
Yeah, she was just like, she
In
took
2
it
weeks
well
when you
enough.
come back.
Yeah, she took it well enough. She's like, you mean it's just a phase? Like all girls like love their friends. And I was like, Mom, what are you saying? That's not. Whatever, it's fine. Like you're not gonna kick me out of the house. Cool. But when she did come back, she kind of had like a little bit more of a negative reaction. But she was like upset with me while she was awake at 5 a.m. to go to work as a nurse, and so she was like, I can't believe, what are you doing? And then she just like yelled at me, and then she left for work, and we never talked about it again. She was like,
That's
"It's a
so
phase.
Korean.
Get over it."
That's so Korean.
It's so
Yeah.
Korean. We're just like, we're just never gonna talk about it. And then I was in a film program from the summer before senior year of high school to the end of high school. And so in my program we do summer films, and you submit your scripts or whatever, and then like a panel of industry judges pick the best script, then we make it as a program. And so I submitted like a 15-minute script, and it was loosely autobiographical about this girl who like goes through like this friendship breakup because she has a huge crush on one of her best friends after breaking up with the boyfriend, which I've never had, don't plan to have. But they picked it, and I was like the director of it. And there was a lot of moments, like I included the moment where the main character comes out to her mom via an email. Mom obviously takes it a lot better.
You're like, I
and-
just came up with this completely original idea.
Yeah, it's not my life at all. But at that time, like as I came out to my like to rewind, as I had come out to my cousin, and she took it well. I knew that family of cousins and my aunt and uncle would be fine with it. And so the film was coming out. I was coming out to like my classmates that I was really close to, like junior and senior year, and they were all like, "Girl, we knew. We just been waiting." Parents of their friends would be like, "Oh, we were just waiting for you to tell us." Like the closet was glass at Clark. They all knew.
They're all outside, like tapping their feet, like, when's it gonna
Yeah.
happen?
Yeah, they're like, and that's
When's
the
it
thing
gonna
too.
happen?
In college, I learned celebrity culture. Shout out to that professor. When it's a known secret, it's not that big of a deal. Like it's no more, it's no longer gossip. It's like, okay, Yumi's gay. We all fucking know. I was like, thanks everybody. I've been so scared my entire life.
You're like, thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. But so I submitted this film. We shot it over the summer in San Antonio, and then we premiered it. I didn't think my dad would come, but he did last minute. And he was buying up the DVD copies, and he was so proud because his kid had made a movie and directed
Not the
it.
DVD copy.
Yeah, we have the hard copy still. And then one of my friends in the program, her mom went up to him and was like, "Oh my gosh, you should be so proud of Yumi. Like, she's so brave for telling her story like this." And it, like, finally clicked into his brain that this movie was about me. And so he, like, cornered me in this, like, movie theater. Shout out Santikos on Callahan. In front of like the people, some of my friends that came, the program people, all the donators, they came, and he like corners me in the arcade, and he's like starting to like yell at me. He's like, "Tell me you're not gay. You can write movies and make movies about gay people and not be gay." And he's not wrong. And he was just like, "Tell me you're not gay." And I was like, no. And so luckily, my uncle, his youngest brother, was there, and he was just like, "Dude, you gotta leave. Like, go to your, like, just go. We got this." And like, shout out to my uncle. He was very kind to do that. And so my dad left for like a week. on a business trip, and then when he came back, I had to meet him at his office, and he kind of gave me the spiel because I ended up not majoring in pre-med for college, and I knew I was going to college to be a
R.I.P.
film major.
R.I.P.
And so
American dreams.
I know, all the dreams of our parents. And he was like very stern. He sat me down at a desk in front of his, and he was like, "You're already a disappointment. You don't have to disappoint me even more by being gay." And in that moment, I didn't think I knew, but I felt like if I answered this incorrectly, he wouldn't pay for college anymore. And this was a big deal because I deferred going to NYU because I got into Tisch for film, which is a huge deal. It was my dream school.
Which is a huge deal, by the way.
Yeah, it was my first choice. I wanted to go. They did not give me much money. It would have been really expensive. My aunt had friends try and write letters to convince him to let me go, and he got me to stay in Texas. I went to UT for film. He got me to stay by saying he was going to pay for room and board, pay for stuff so I didn't have to get a job and study on school, like focus on school, and get me a new car because my car was like kind of starting to get dangerous. And I was like, fine, I'll do it for the money. And so in that moment, he was like, when he said, "You don't have to be gay to make movies about gay people. Don't be another disappointment." I knew in order to get the education I wanted and was told I would receive, I made the decision to tell him I wasn't gay. And so whatever coming out I did with my film, which is crazy, I came out with a movie. Like that's kind of
Pretty on brand
the
for
gist
you.
of
That's
it.
like kind of sick though.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that. I think it's a really funny story. But I did stay in the closet in front of him for all of college until my grandfather, his dad, passed away in 2017. He really changed emotionally and started realizing just how much love he was kind of not giving or receiving. And so I had a conversation with him over the phone. I was like, "Dad, like, we gotta be for real. You know I'm gay." And I asked him, "Do you still love me?" Because I knew how he was like changing. And he was like, "Of course I love you. Like, you are my child. I will never not love you." And that moment was so healing in a way that I wish it didn't have to take another 7 years almost to happen. But I'm glad that it happened. I did ask him during COVID once. I was like, if I had a girlfriend and I brought her home, would you want to meet her? Like, would you be nice to her? And he was like, "Listen, let's cross that bridge when we get there." And I was like, wow, you didn't have to read me like that.
Wow.
That's kind
Woof.
of, damn.
I will say, like, one day when you make a movie out of your coming out movie,
Yeah.
because that could happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
For some reason, I picture your dad with a stack of DVDs, like
Yeah.
up
he
to
had,
his
like
eyeballs.
6 or 7. Yeah.
Like he's up to here in DVDs, and he's like, "What do you mean you're gay?" And he's balancing a stack of DVDs, and he's upset. That's just what I'm sorry. Anyways, I know that's
Yeah.
not how it played out, but like in my
no,
mind,
no. I agree. I think
when
there's so
you
much
said he
humor
bought
in it
every
now.
DVD,
Yeah.
I pictured the mouse from Cinderella, like holding.
Yeah.
Yes,
No,
yes,
that's what
that's
it
what I'm
looked like
thinking.
for real. And then he just kind of like,
yeah,
he kept them. He took them with him when he left the movie theaters. I was like,
which is like the most
Are those gonna be in the
serious
trash?
possible moment
yeah.
of your story in the most unserious format.
Yeah.
Was that he was being like such a dad
100%.
and then
Yeah.
was just like trying to like process
Yeah.
something that he
It was
wasn't
real-
expecting.
It was so much for him. And I can appreciate that now. Is like, it kind of felt like he was maybe being like ambushed in a way. And so when I started coming out to my mom's side of the family, that was around the same time I told him, I had that conversation. I was like, you know, like, I'm gay. Do you still love me? I had just had that conversation with my closest cousin on my mom's side that, like, because I was going to stay with her for a few weeks while I was visiting Korea on my own, not with my parents. And I was like, I felt bad because I cut my hair junior year of college. And so, like, talk about styles. We'll get back to that.
That's
But, like,
early.
yeah. So,
Junior
shout out Abby
year.
Wambach.
Oh, inspiration.
Crazy. That was a bad
Inspiration.
haircut. But I was just like, I looked so much more masculine than over the years I had been dressing. And so I was just like, I wanted to prep her and I was like, hey, you know, like, I understand if this makes you uncomfortable because she had 2 young boys and like, I get the conversations people don't want to have, and I wasn't gonna like put her in a situation because we didn't grow up seeing each other every day or every year like I did my cousins on my dad's side. And so I was like, hey, I just want you to let you know, like, I am gay, because I had a feeling she knew. I was a teenager when I started visiting. I was wearing boy clothes by then. So she took it really well, and she had said to me that, like, in Korea, to her opinion, it's more of a bad look on Korean parents to abandon their children for being gay than for their children to be gay. And she's a Korean Catholic too, you know. So for her to say that, I'm like, ooh, a modern woman, we stand. And she was like, you should tell my mom, my aunt, who's kind of like a second mom to my mother. And I was like, let's cross that bridge. But so all the women that are my cousins on my mom's side, they know I'm gay. I'm not very close to the guy cousin in my mom's immediate family.
Very patriarchal.
Yeah, he's really cool. He was really nice when we were younger, but like now the age difference and like he's a dad and like we're not very close. It's just a little bit awkward. Also, we just don't talk as much as I do with my cousin Yuna. And so, and like the gender nonconforming stuff, I have come out to my mom about it, but like it's been in passing, and like she doesn't really get it. And I just wanted to tell her because I've been starting to do really cool things for work as like a co-chair of our ERG for queer people at our company, and I just wanted to tell her like some of the wins that like these really cool achievements, these things I was getting to do, and I just wanted her to know, and I couldn't tell her. It felt like I couldn't say, like, because it's for pride or whatever. And I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna tell her. And like she just like kind of took it in passing, and she's like, I think my parents have fully given up on like understanding me and just being like, okay, well, whatever.
They're just
you
like
say.
letting it go a little bit.
Yeah,
Really
which is fine. I
understanding.
think it's better than feeling like everything is like end all be all or the end of life as we know it.
Yeah.
My dad did freak out when I got my hair cut the first time, though. My grandmother had to like tell him like, "What's wrong with you? I have a short haircut." Because I think when I got the
The
haircut,
Ajuma perm,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
Harmony.
Well,
the
she
Harmony
just-
cut, the
yeah,
perm.
exactly. And she's always had a pixie cut since I've known her. Like ever since she's been in America, she's had a pixie cut, even before they moved here. But I think when I got my haircut, he was reminded like my kid is gay, like gay as fuck, and I think it's funny though because I feel like my Korean uncle here once told me last year, he was like, we were talking, he was like, you know what? If you were born a man, you would have been a great man. You would have made a great man because you think it like intelligently and you think thoughtfully and whatever. And I was just like, I took it as a compliment. I know he meant it as a compliment. I was just like, that's so funny because I do feel like as my dad's first kid, I feel like I could have been the son he's always wanted. And my brother's great too. It's just like the first son.
You're like,
I am his
step
first son.
aside.
Yeah. I'm
Step
the first
aside,
kid.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
I have more
exactly.
potential.
Exactly. I'm living up to it. I'm so much my father's like child because I love to be a speaker. I love to be a leader and I care about my reputation, all this stuff, and I feel like I'm a carbon copy of him lately, and I don't love that 100%, but it's getting there. And so when we're talking about style and the haircuts and things like that, it's so funny. For prom, I wore a tuxedo, and I got my tuxedo rented from Arlo's mom. Without knowing, my aunt took me to Arlo's family's shop, and we got my tux fitted there. I wore like
Wow.
a black shirt, and I wore a vest instead of a jacket, and I got the pants, and I wore some Nike Dunks with patent leather black on it.
It doesn't get any gayer.
It doesn't get any gayer. I was so excited, and honestly, Arlo's mom was very nice. She took it like a champ, and shout out to my aunt for taking me. I thought that was really kind of her, and like I feel like looking back on it, I'm like I'm so much luckier than I thought I felt in the moment.
Oh yeah.
And then I think I had really great friends in college that are mostly straight, but then in college, obviously, I started joining like little hangout, which is like a coffee meetup every week in Texas for at Austin. And I met some of my closest college friends there, and you start building those communities. But the straight kids in my life, God bless them, they tried. I had so many moments where they were trying to be such good allies, and they were trying, and I think that says a lot about the people that we grew up in Texas. I think they surprise you in ways that I think the rest of the country don't realize. Is like they hear so many of the negatives and the homophobia and the transphobia, but like in my direct life, there are so many more people that are truly trying to understand and truly supportive and know how bad it is, and they want people like me to like stick around, and like they do love us and they do care, and they're trying to figure things out just as much as we are. And I think going to school at UT was a blessing in disguise, not going to NYU, because I didn't have any college debt. That was great. Thanks, Dad.
Which
he pretended he didn't know
it's
NYU
like
was a good
it's like
school.
like Tisch is like for the arts, like an Ivy.
Exactly.
Basically. Like that is an accomplishment in
Very
itself
impressive.
that you
And I didn't
got
get
into Tisch.
deferred.
There are kids out here who are like
Dreaming
fighting
to
for
get
their
in.
lives to be
I know,
in
and that's
Tisch,
the thing
to
too.
be
Is
more
like I had the
creative.
grades. I had the grades to not get deferred out of Tisch, where you have to do like
Right.
the undergraduate
You're
program
smart
a year
enough,
and then
but
transfer
also
in.
creative enough.
Yeah,
to
and
be
so
at Tisch.
I try. I'm like always like my crowning achievement of my entire life is actually getting into Tisch. Still to
Which
this
is like
day.
it's so cool, and it's just really sad that like did not get acknowledged, because
Yeah.
like even if you're gonna be an Asian kid of an immigrant family who's
Yeah.
trying to prove that you want to be a creative, it's really sad that didn't get like that. People weren't like, they weren't like, oh, like that is serious, like
Yeah.
that is like, oh, like maybe you do. It's like getting into Juilliard, like
Yeah.
right.
if you were a violinist and you got into Juilliard, and your parents would be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're
Like
good.
that, it's like a very similar vibe.
They just thought it was such a
know.
both of them just thought like when I was talking about film school, they were like, it's not a stable career.
Right,
and then like the joke was on them.
Which is ironic because
Yeah,
it
it's
kind
so
of
ironic
is,
because
like, in a
COVID
way.
hit and everybody was the only thing that was kind of stable as far as jobs was like people who made TV shows and movies and marketing that shit. And so like I got very fortunate in that regard. So it is really ironic, but in the long run I'm like thank God, because I was like I'm not going to be in like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
True.
But I think it's like a testament to also like you and how like good you are is that you went to UT Austin, which has a great film program.
Right.
But like, even though you didn't get to go to Tisch,
I
Potential
still
from
ended
the
up
start.
in New York. Yeah.
Potential
you're
from the start.
still, like you're living.
You're
someone's
still here.
dream.
You're in New York, literally
Yeah.
working
Well, literally no.
in
but,
the
like,
industry.
Not maybe at this
Well, not
moment.
like okay, like you're like literally across the river. Sorry.
13 hours ahead.
Sorry, you're like,
In the future.
not right now. Okay.
but
Jeez,
no, I
your
think
apartment
that's,
is across the river, and you're in Korea.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I think
suffice it to say, I don't think my parents think I'm a disappointment for being queer anymore. Or they're not as afraid. Because what my cousin told me when I first told her that I was gay, she was like, you just have to remember that your parents raised you for how many years thinking your life will look a certain way, and they had these certain dreams. And I think this is a commonality for a lot of families to think that. And so it's not that they have a right to grieve it forever, but they do need time to like recalibrate what your future is going to look like for you. And I think a lot of people, especially parents, are worried because they understand that like not being quote unquote normal or heterosexual in this world ultimately will make your life harder, and no person wants their child to live a harder life for any reason, whether it is for being gay or being of a different color or immigration
different.
status.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that really helped reframe a lot of things for me, and I was like 26 at the time, and like you get advice from people from surprising ways, and it was just like my journey has been so interesting. And like honestly, I came out as non-binary through like a Korean pop, like a K-pop meme video style in 2019, like
So
Spirit,
creative.
like coming out
Yeah.
day of
So
2019.
creative, honestly.
I was just like, oh, let me just do this. Like these are my new pronouns. Bye.
Well, so you're, interestingly enough, though, I feel like it's really cool, though, that you got a tux from,
Yeah.
prom. I did not
For
wear
prom.
a tux. I
Yeah.
definitely
yeah,
wore.
that you went to prom. Did
Yeah.
both of you go to prom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
I took a girl to
missed-
prom too.
I missed
Shout out to
all my
Nicole.
proms.
Oh
Well,
no.
we only had one
Yeah,
prom.
don't worry, it'll be a part of my story.
Yeah, okay, we gotta know. We gotta know now. Okay, I'm done talking. Because we're always coming out anyways, but continue.
But I feel like that's so fun that you guys
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that.
we'll
you
come
got
back
your
to my
touch and
hairstyles.
from Arlo's mom is like so fun. Like that's such a I didn't
Yeah,
know
it's
that
such
about
a
your
random
story,
connection.
and it's so cute. Also, too, that like Arlo's mom was just like, okay.
She's like, I'm getting paid. And this is what,
She
that's
was
what
like,
matters.
how much? She was like, this is full price still.
Yeah, it's still gotta be. You gotta return it Sunday.
She was like, I know you're not like getting the jacket, but the
But, like-
rental is still the same amount. Sorry, I don't actually know if it was full price.
I actually don't
I'm
remember
making an
either.
assumption.
I don't
Either way,
remember.
she just didn't make it weird, and that was what was.
That's
what I
what's
was most grateful
important.
for.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's like
Yeah.
a nice little tidbit for your
But
relationship.
to round it out, I would say my favorite haircut I think is around now. I've been doing a lot of digital perms once every 6 months, 8 months, and I just love the ease of not having to do it because my hair is super straight and flat. And then when I was in high school, it was always in a ponytail. When I wasn't in a ponytail when I showered, it was at the middle of my back always. I grew my hair out so long all the time.
A perm
so when
is
I
a
got it
Korean
cut,
person's best
It was
friend.
it was a very bad haircut because Abby's hair during that World Cup was not great. Terrible inspiration, but I was just like, I gotta cut it. And then didn't know what to do with it, so it was always in a hat because I didn't want to
Thank you,
style it.
Abby.
I was so lazy. And
Trendsetter.
then I started doing like the taper cuts at a barber, and there's like those moments where it was like really short on the sides and like high and tights, and like they weren't bad, but they're just not good for my face shape. And then I started getting into K-pop, and obviously it clicked. Like I can do my hair in a certain way. I
K-pop
can-
tells you
yeah, and you can
what
really
looks
like
good on a
embrace
face.
this.
Except for the early 2000s, we can all forget that.
Yeah, second gen was not great.
We can second generation. We can just like pretend
Yeah.
like that was an experiment.
The Koreans have really created a technology of how to do men's hair. It's so much
No,
better
literally,
now.
the fact that they had to come up with
and
like,
it's
their
not a
own
comb
version
over
of
all the time
chemicals
anymore. My
to
brother needs it.
manipulate your hair. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother needs it. His hair just goes straight up at all directions at all
Yeah.
times. But I did for my 26th birthday. I got my hair dyed silver gray for the first time. Shout out to Lachey. She was the one that did it, and it was a long hours. And it was just like, it just looks so cool. So ever since then, I'm always trying to find the right time to dye it silver again. And Arlo's seen it. It looks good. I look
does.
good with silver hair.
Yeah.
I have a grove of white hair coming in. I'm just like,
You're like, let's embrace
jeans.
it.
Let's just speed
go
it up.
for
Let's
it.
just all be silver or gray
All
hair.
one tone.
So I'm okay with growing old and like not paying for dye, but I think I'd rather spend my money on the perms nowadays. I love the wavy texture that you can have, and it just feels. It doesn't feel girly and it doesn't feel super masculine, but it still feels masculine because I feel like I'm doing my hair in a way that I hope women like, but I also like. I look in the mirror and I'm like, dang, I look cute. I look handsome. And I think that kind of like boost of confidence is so helpful nowadays with like gender expression for myself. And who knows what that will inspire as the years passes by. But like now in like the age of 34, I'm like, yeah, I found my haircut and I'm gonna like really embrace it for a while.
Nice.
No, it's a good haircut, and I think it's like also just like trying to find somebody who can work with our hair.
Yeah.
Is like really big. Because I know Suin has
It's
had,
exhausting thinking about it.
Yeah.
and like
God.
I don't let anyone touch my hair besides my barber.
I don't even get my hair done in New York, New Jersey anymore. I just do it every time I'm home in Texas. Shout out to Mickey in San Antonio.
Ugh.
She knows how to do Korean hair. She's
It's
the one.
so hard to find someone.
Yeah.
Anyways, that'll be part of my.
Go,
Yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah.
go.
All right, Suin, let's,
That's just like
tell
a
us your
conversation
story.
we're not going to get involved. Well, thanks for sharing though, Yumi. That was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my story is like vastly shorter because I came out when I was 16.
Oh, yeah,
So,
younger generation.
I would say largely
Yeah.
I had no idea that I was gay. I was just like living my life. Like I'm youngest child in my family. So a lot of like my parents' attention or like what was happening is like even though they always say that like baby gets coddled, like I was coddled,
Yeah.
but I also like I have a huge age gap between me and my sisters. So like I have a 7-year age gap between me and my sisters. So like when I was a kid playing, they were like in school and like doing young Korean American things, right? Like they
Right.
were in sports, they were playing violin, they were in orchestra, like so they had like a full schedule and I was just like the little one who was with them everywhere. So like my sisters played sort of like I was always following. I was never like it was kind of like good because like the attention was never on me. But I like
Yeah.
largely went through like elementary school, middle school, kind of just like do. Like I'm just here. I'm doing it. Like I go to Hagwon, I go home, I play on my own. Like
Yeah.
I have friends. But I just like did not know. I was just like perfectly happy in my own world. And it's like very like if you know my personality, you can like see that. I just couldn't care about anybody else. And like my mom always says still that like my sisters struggled a lot in like middle school with like their social realm because girls are like kind of mean.
Oh, 100%.
And,
They're
like,
scary.
Yeah, and it's really hard to navigate, especially like you're Korean American, you look different, you want to assimilate. My sisters had a lot of trouble like with their social spheres. There was always like drama. And my mom was like, it's so weird. You just like never had a problem and you like literally could care less about what anybody said to you or like
Yeah.
what they did, and you never felt like you couldn't stand up because you had older sisters. It's like you were used to being like, no,
You're wrong.
like I'm not doing that. Like that's crazy. Or like I didn't say that. So like as a kid I was like very blissfully ignorant of what was happening. Looking back, I was like I had girl best friends and like I had loved other teachers that I like loved. They were all women, of course, that I was like really attached to. But like young kid me had only boys as friends. And it wasn't until like middle school that I started having friends who were girls. And then my mom was like, well, you need to go do Girl Scouts because you need something on your college recommendation.
Girl
Yeah.
Scouts.
So in middle school, I did Girl Scouts. I got my silver award. I did my community service, but I really liked the girls that were in my troop. And like I don't know if they liked me or like if like I don't like know
sure
what
they
their
did.
personal opinions are of me, but like I was there
You're like, you don't have to
because
like
my
me. I like
mom
you.
made me. Like I didn't choose to be there. My mom was just like, you're doing this because your sisters did it and it went on their college application. So I was like, okay, whatever. So
Yeah.
I did Girl Scouts. I like started to have more friends who were girls, which felt like a little weird for me because I was always used to like playing with boys. Like after school at the playground, because I used to live close to the school that I went to, I'd always play on the playground. It was always with boys. I'm still friends with one of my like kindergarten best friends. Shout out to Nikita. He grew up Greek American. So our parents were like, we grew up like with we're like third culture kids, basically. So like that was really cool. But we spent like our summers together, like at the pool. But I was always friends with boys. And then like when I grew up, I had more friends who were girls, largely because my mom was like, we're doing Girl Scouts. So it wasn't until like high school where I like was like on Tumblr. And I was like,
yes,
Oh
Tumblr.
my gosh.
I was like,
I
what
was
is
on
this?
Tumblr in college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
College.
And I was kind of like, oh, like gay people. Interesting. And my parents are very liberal. My parents are non-religious. My mom is somewhat religious, but my dad is not at all religious. He is like, I don't want to be a part of it. He's like, I got to go to church on Sundays, every Sunday. I got to be there
this is
every
happening.
Sunday. Like, I want to be watching
Running.
like Ohio State football
Oh yeah. Or
on the
running.
Yeah.
weekends. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to. He's like, I have enough to do. Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And so the religious influence was my grandparents. My mom's side was Korean Methodist, and my grandma on my dad's side was Catholic. So I grew up Catholic. I went to Bible study. But, like, I didn't grow up in Texas. I grew up in New Jersey. So, like, Catholic in New Jersey is, like, all Italians. And, like, I'm not Italian. So, we just, like, went because, like,
the
my
missionaries
grandmother...
got your grandparent.
And so we went because they just, like, my grandma felt like we needed a religious upbringing. But my parents could care, like, less. Like, my mom, being Korean Methodist, had it shoved down her throat so hard that, like, she was kind of like, I don't really, like, want to do this. So she let us really choose. Like, our parents were kind of like, do you want to commit, basically? So when I got to my communion in high school, my mom was like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do your, like, confirmation? And I was like, not really. And she was like, okay, well, you have to choose between, like, your confirmation or do you want to play sports this summer?
Oh,
because, like, there's a schedule. Like, she's children, and there are, like, things to do. And I think it's, like,
you can only
middle
be in
school or
one
something.
place
You're,
at
like,
a time.
13, yeah. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I was, like, also, like, I haven't been to, like, a church event in, like, forever, because I just been playing sports.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, okay, cool, like, that really clears it up. So let's just do sports for, like, this year, summer. So they really gave, like, my parents gave me a choice. Like, they're super ultra liberal people. And I was just like, okay. And so me blissfully unaware that I'm, like, gay, even though all the signs are there. And I wore boy clothes as kid. Anyways, so it's just, like, obvious. And then when I got to high school, I was in marching band. So I had, like, this weird high school experience where, like, I was in marching band in the fall, but I played varsity lacrosse in the spring.
Wow.
So I'm, like, with the band geeks in the late summer, fall.
Did you go to band camp?
And then I'm, like, with varsity, like, popular girls
Wow.
in the spring.
Yeah.
It like, literally makes no sense.
That's a movie waiting to be written. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
it's,
it.
like,
Unicorn.
really bizarre.
Let's write the script right now.
And I could play an instrument, but I wasn't, like, I know that I'm not creative. Like,
What instrument did you play?
Yumi
The
and
French
I sit
horn?
on opposite sides. I played a baritone horn. I played, like, a low brass instrument.
Wow.
My brother
So
played the
basically, like,
French
I can
horn.
use 3 keys efficiently
Yeah.
enough to, like, blow air through it. Like, that's as
You're
good as it
maintaining.
gets.
You're maintaining the baseline. You're
Right,
You know,
and I have, like,
keeping it
enough physical
together.
fitness to, like, lift
Yeah.
it and, like,
Yeah,
move around.
you're marching around a very
Right.
large piece of grass.
So I feel like I had a very split, like, version of myself because, like, there's, like, a big stereotype that, like, if you're a band kid, you're a band kid. If you're an
Yeah.
art kid, you're an art kid. And I was kind of like that ignorance I grew up with of being like, I'm just doing whatever I want.
Yeah, high school
Kinda like-
musicaling it.
Played into it where I was just like, I don't know, like, these are the 2 things I like and they're in opposite seasons. So I'm going to do them anyways.
You were
And they
the original
bring me
Troy
joy.
Bolton.
Yeah, so so I was like, and my middle sister was in marching band, and I grew up watching her. Like, a lot of my influence is my sisters. Like, I
Yeah.
grew up going to their events, so often I wanted to do the things that they were doing. So, like, my oldest sister played lacrosse, and my middle sister was in marching band. So, like, I was like, well, I'm gonna be
do
like the
both.
2 of them, so I'm gonna do those things.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, and of course, marching band is a place that collects queer people.
Yes,
Right, like, without
100%,
knowing
100%.
a lot of creative people are inherently queer.
Yeah,
And so I ended up having a group of friends that was, like, also quietly queer.
yeah.
figuring it out.
Open-minded.
Yeah, literally. They're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting my first girlfriend because she was like, she was older than me. She was like, and I was like,
Wow.
Wow.
it didn't end great.
Oh.
And it wasn't like
It
a
never
great
does.
relationship.
Yeah.
But that relationship, I think, started I want to say it was like maybe my end of my sophomore or junior
Yeah.
year of high school. So we dated for a while, like a year. And I was like figuring it out.
Yeah.
Like the first time that we kissed, I was like, Oh.
This is what all the girlies been talking about
I was
with them
like,
boys.
that's what they mean?
Wow.
I was like, the Princess Diaries wasn't lying? That's crazy. Because up until that point, I was kind of like, I really don't see the appeal of men or boys. I was like, I genuinely don't get it. And when I was younger on like Girl Scout trips and girls were like, who's your crush? I'd like name someone random because I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, I don't like any of these people. Like, I don't see the appeal. So
You never were
basically-
like, one of my Girl Scout troop girlies are cute. You were just always like,
No.
I just really like them as
those
my
were
friend.
friends. No, those were
Interesting.
friends.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. They were
Yeah.
friends.
No, I definitely had crushes on like a couple of
Yeah.
specific teammates in middle school.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, there
in
were
high
definitely
school.
girls I think I had crushes on in high school, but
yeah.
a lot of the women who are my friends, literally
good.
nothing.
You
Like,
know,
so
boundaries are
sorry.
healthy. Boundaries are healthy. Not dating
Yeah,
within your friend
yeah.
group is not a thing most lesbians could do.
and for me, it was like I didn't know because I was like not thinking about it at all, like a huge airhead. And so my first girlfriend, she sort of initiated a little bit of it because we were just hanging. We were like hanging out a ton. We were really good friends. We were getting really close. And then when we started dating, things like really clicked for me. Like I was starting to really understand that as someone who like I grew up with two older sisters, and all three of us are like really big romantics at heart. Like we grew up watching Little Women together. We grew up watching Pride and Prejudice together, clocking my favorite movie. And like, but a lot of my like sisterly memories are spent with me and my sisters and my mom watching like Bridget Jones' Diaries and like watching like these like girlhood movies and being like in love and like loving people and falling in love and like I think like I was just like that's so fun and like I'm like no thoughts, like I don't understand, but like I like that.
Yeah.
And things really started clicking for me during that relationship. But I think largely looking back, that was like that opportunity came to me and I just like took it. I thought I was in love because I was in love with the idea of romance.
Cool, because at that age too, we usually
You know,
like,
you
okay, I
just
guess
get
this is
like
what that
sucked
is.
into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is crazy. Because then all these things that I never had felt before were clicking for me. And so we dated in high school. And maybe like 6 months into our relationship, or like, yeah, like a few months into our relationship, my sister had come home after college. That's all I can remember. And I was in the car with her and she picked me up from somewhere and we were driving and I was like, I think I'm gay. And my sister was like, you think? Or like, you know. And I was like, no, like, I know. I have a girlfriend. And she was like, okay, you want to talk about it? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe. But so I came out to my sister. She kind of like heard what I was going through. And I was just like, I think I'm like kind of scared to tell mom and dad. And my sister was like, well, take all the time you need, but you're gonna have to do it eventually. She was like,
I'm not keeping this a secret
she was
for
like,
you.
listen, like she was like, I'm so happy you came out to me. I love you. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And then she was just like, but also like, I'm not keeping secrets for you.
In true sister form.
Yeah, she was like really
She's like,
real
this is
about
not
it.
my problem.
She's like, you're not gonna make a liar out of me. Like, that's crazy. So, I mean, obviously didn't say it that way, but she was kind of like, you're gonna have to tell them. Like,
Yeah, don't make this a
it would be
problem.
different if you weren't actively in a relationship. But like, they need to know where you are and that you're safe.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like,
That's true.
they need to know what's going on because if you're
Your
hiding
sister
things
being an
from
adult.
them, I know. Well, and that's like the benefit of having older sisters is that
Yeah.
they're all supportive.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of like, I have to tell them. I was like, what do you mean? And
Harry isn't gonna come tell them for me.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think like, and one day I was doing like, and a few months later, I was like doing homework, and my mom was like in the kitchen, and she was like doing all these things, and I told her that I was like, so I have a girlfriend, and I'm gay, and my mom was like, is it this person? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? And she was like, well, you just like spend a lot of time with them. And I was like, yeah, I was like, are you mad? And she was like, well, no, but like, how long have you been dating for? And I was like, this amount of time. And she was like, and you didn't tell me?
Wow.
Like,
she's
she-
more
Your mom's really
annoyed
mad
that
about
you
the fact
kept
that
this from
didn't.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
and
real
my mom
reason.
was
Such a great
really
mom,
mad
dang.
that I kept it from her. She was
Yeah.
She was upset. She was
Yeah.
like, and she
love
was
your
like,
mom.
well, I have things to do. So she like went and did stuff. And like when she was able to like collect herself, well, and I think part of it initially she was like, well, maybe it's just a phase.
Yeah. Ugh,
Right.
that phrase.
But then she
Hard.
was also like upset because I kept it from her.
Yeah.
That I didn't like come to her and I was like, hey, I have these feelings, because that was more important to her, was that like her daughters are honest with her. So she was like mad at me for like keeping it from her.
Not the gay part. Literally not for having a girlfriend. Literally
Yeah.
just be like, not because just because you didn't tell
Yeah.
her.
And like nobody liked my first girlfriend, to be fair. Like and I think looking back I'm like, I get that. Like I kind of understand. I understand.
That makes sense too.
Um,
I will say,
but yeah.
I as somebody who didn't have that kind of relationship with my mom, I really do envy that you guys had a relationship where it's kind of expected that you guys share and like talk about those
Yeah,
things.
which is hilarious because we don't share that much.
But
Like,
whatever you guys
you know what I
share,
mean?
I can tell you is like 100%, 200% more than
Right.
I've ever shared with my own parents.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've never told them about crushes. My mom's always kind of like trying to figure out if like a friend that I'm hanging out with is my girlfriend or if they're just my friend. And I'm always like, she's literally just a friend. Like, she can't compute that now. And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I
my
still
mom
have
thinks-
just friends.
My mom thinks everyone is just a friend.
Yeah.
That's
Opposite
how
to
it is.
opposite.
No.
Yeah.
We are in a relationship. We are dating.
Yeah. I'm always like, Mom, if you
Total
see
opposite.
I'm always
Until
kinda
proven otherwise.
I'm always kind of
A
like
friend.
wondering if I should tell her, like, Mom, if you saw the photos of the women that I'm hanging out with, you would be like, my daughter can't pull that kind of girl, and or my kid can't
Oh,
pull.
that's
No,
not
because,
true.
like,
Boo, that comment.
This
Don't
is
talk
the
like
self-hating Korean in
Boo.
me.
Okay, we're gonna throw that out the window now.
that. Yeah, just
But no, like, I think that's just like I love that that's the experience that you had with your mom. That she was just pissed that you didn't tell her. Like, she
Yeah.
was like missing out on the goss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she, and granted, like, we don't, it's say, like, not to say that we like share a ton.
You're right.
Like, we don't share many like feelings, but I think like my mom in general, like, because I grew up sort of like da, 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 like minding my own business. There was nothing that my mom didn't already know about me, and this was probably the first thing for me. Not, you know, my sisters are obviously a different story, but like it was just a different. I don't think she ever expected to not know what was going on in my life, because she always knew. I was like, my life was an open book. I wasn't really doing anything. And then I dated that girl. She like, from my understanding, she like kind of cheated on me when she went to college, and then we broke up. Was what I was like told. I don't know. Either way, it ended, and I was like sad and depressed for like a summer or something like that. But then I was out. Like, I got outed when I was
No.
dating her in high school. Like, and it wasn't like an out, like someone was like, so-and-'s gay. It was like my girlfriend was telling people without asking me.
Wow.
And so people just heard that I was gay and that she was my
Right.
girlfriend.
wasn't like
And
on
we'd
your
eat lunch
terms.
together, and we'd like, you know, so like you put the pieces together. And I was so kind of just like la da 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 that it never really clicked with me that I was outed,
right.
because I was never asked. I was never like, hey, should we tell friends? Should we?
Right.
How many people are you okay with letting know? And should we tell those people to keep
Right.
it quiet?
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, well, as long as my parents don't find out. But now looking back, I'm like, I wish I had more control.
Right. You lost your
Over
agency in that
that.
process around the
Right.
people that you're going to see almost every day once she left, too.
Right. And thankfully, like, I went to school in North Jersey, and so like things were not that bad. Gay people exist. It's whatever.
Yeah.
And like, and it's not like my parents were particularly upset either. Like, I grew up knowing that they knew gay people. Like, I had like one of my aunts, who's like not my aunt, but she's emo. you know,
Mhm.
and
Yeah. Shout out to all the
her
emos
kid
that are
is
not
gay,
blind.
and he came out, and my parents were like, "We know, no big deal."
And
They were like, "Are we
And
shocked?" Right? And they were kind of just like, "I don't know why she's like, his mom is like freaking out. Like it's fine." And so I grew up seeing that they were just like very tolerant. I had a gunkle who was never, it was never spoken about. We never talked about my uncle being gay, but honestly, you knew,
the pieces
right?
of the
Like
puzzle were there.
he lived across the country from our family, and you know he has his life. I think my aunt like still doesn't know that he's gay. So I don't know if I have to like we have to bleep his name, but like I don't think she's like gonna be watching this podcast.
no one's gonna like look up all the LinkedIn and Facebook connections to find the
Yeah.
people.
But
Yeah.
like but I grew up with him, and so when I came out, he was like, "I'm so proud of you." I'm still not able to do that. Like, and your
Aw.
parents are the best because they accepted him
Yeah.
because he was always invited to Thanksgiving. Like they kind of knew his situation, and it was never spoken about. But it was
They weren't
never,
outing him. You know,
Right.
that's what they were doing. They were just not outing him.
right? And so it was never spoken about. But like they knew, and they accepted him anyways, and they
Yeah.
always gave him a place when he came to visit. And so I grew up with like a lot of like positive reinforcement, but I always just thought I'd be like a disappointment because like my sisters were always like a lot smarter than me and like a lot better at things than I was. And I'm like
We've
little
all been
kid
there.
trying to like keep up a little bit. And I think like I was just like a raging teenager. And I was a lot spunkier than my sisters.
two.
Like I was like really pushing to like make my parents' life hard when I was in high
Wow.
school. So I came out. I was like kind of outed, and then I like brought weed on a school trip and I got suspended. And
Troublemaker.
I like doubled down on my own Asian guilt. And my mom at some point was like, "No, you've punished yourself enough. Like I really don't have to do very much actually." Like I was so
She's probably
apologetic.
So grateful.
And I was so mean to myself about it, and I was so
Oh,
upset that I
no.
disappointed them. And my mom was she literally said like, "No, like you've done enough to yourself. I can see that you've punished yourself enough." Like
Yeah.
she was like, "You're not going to have your phone for this amount of time. You're only going to go to school and you're only going to go to work." Like the end of my senior year. And she was like, "And you're going to hope that your college acceptances don't get rescinded."
Yeah.
Basically. And she was like, "You just like better hope that that is the way that works out." And everything like turned out fine. Obviously, I was a privileged kid at a fairly well off high school in North Jersey. So like things were handled. I wasn't the only one suspended. It was me and like 8 other boys. So like but I was like very much a problem child.
Yeah.
So like me being gay was just the tip of the iceberg. When I went to college, I think my parents were like happy that I got into college. Like when I turned 21, my mom was like, "Oh, I can breathe.
You
Like
can
you're
legally
not
drink
getting
now.
arrested.
You're not getting an MIP in college.
And when I finally picked a major and I got a job, my parents were like so relieved because I
Yeah.
was so like aimless for a long time. And I think that me learning that I was queer at an early age made it so that way I could sort out my identity and what I wanted
Yeah.
to actually do with my life much later on. It was a rocky journey.
Yeah.
To get there.
It sounds like to me you got to be,
But,
you know what they
yeah.
say like online, they're like queer people in our generation are, you know, kind of living out their teen years in their
Yeah.
20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like your story is like this is what happens when queer people get to be teenagers as queer people because
Yeah,
then they don't
for
do
sure.
that in their 20s and 30s
Yeah.
when it can be even more damaging to not be
Yeah.
mature, quote unquote mature adults at a later age. And I think that's much healthier because what you're describing to us as Asian Americans, as Koreans, is like, damn, you had a rebellious streak, but in reality, like in American society, that is a very normal, maybe stereotypical college experience. Like
It's
I
also a
wasn't
very
like doing as much of that
safe
stuff.
time.
Yeah,
I would say
also that too. They could be they're master sneaker outers.
maybe
or
they
whatever.
did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like my parents always say that it was really hard for them because they never had a kid who dated in high school. Like they didn't know how to talk about it. And when my mom found out that I was like sexually active, she brought me to the gynecologist because she didn't know what to say because I was
Right.
dating a woman.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you weren't gonna get pregnant.
right, I
luckily.
wasn't gonna get pregnant, but
That's
she was
true.
like, but like you should know. And I don't. My
Yeah.
mom was like, I don't know how to address that conversation.
Yeah,
So she
what
took me to the
Korean mom knows
gynecologist.
about dental dams,
Right, literally. I don't think she knows that those
finger
exist.
condoms?
So she was like, so she brought me to the gynecologist because she was like, and so I had to sit in the gynecologist's office like with the doctor, and she was like, so like, do you have any questions? And I was like, not really. And she was like, do you use protection? And I was like, well,
Not really.
not really, but like this is our both of our first experiences. And she was like, okay, well, like we're just gonna like get you tested so you're clean. She was like, you should get tested regularly, you should use dental, like, she gave me like
Yeah.
a rundown, and then she
Yeah.
was like, anything else? And I was like, not really.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. And my mom was like, everything's done. And then we never talked about it
Yeah.
again. But
Mind
like,
you, everything the gynecologist
Yeah.
told you is stuff that like they're just trying to like mention to kids in like sex ed classes, and they think
Right.
that conversation you had
right.
is too much. And I'm like, literally,
Yeah.
nothing
Well,
crazy
okay,
just
so-
happened in that.
To be fair, I went to school in North Jersey, so I actually had like a normal sex education class.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I honestly
in
did
middle
too.
school,
I did too.
in middle school, I like actually had
lucky.
a real sex ed class, which was uncomfortable, but like,
Necessary.
but it was also geared towards hetero couples. It
Yeah.
mentions nothing about queer or gay people, which feels like a little bit of deep water for queer people. But anyway, so my parents, like, they didn't really know what to do with me. Like, I think that I feel like sometimes I like feel bad, but they gave me very strict guidelines about certain things.
Yeah.
Not knowing that I was queer, like when I entered high school, because they had my sisters, so they had a routine to
Yeah.
follow through
The
with.
checklist.
And so when I got, and they knew that like band kids had parties. Classic. Classic.
Boy.
But they knew. And so when I started college and I started marching band, both my parents were like, here's the rundown. You can go to parties. You just got to tell us that you're going. You got to tell us how you're getting there.
Yeah.
When you go to the party and they give you a cup, when you put it down, you never pick it up. You always get a new drink.
Yeah.
Period. And stop. They're like, I don't care if you waste cups. You're not picking it up. They're like, you put it down, you never pick it up. Okay?
I think
You
this
in
is like
front of
so
you.
good because I think also people don't realize like your parents were kind of grew up in America.
Yeah,
a
they
little
grew. My
bit.
parents grew up. They were teenagers and they were college students in America.
Yeah, but they're so cool.
They are.
They are the coolest, and I think like I'm really grateful that my parents are cool and that they were young people in America, and they're still cool people.
Yeah,
My parents, they're still very liberal, and like they love to go out and they like to have a good time, and they did that in college, and they expect their kids to also have a good time, but they understood that like you needed to like go out and do things. So I had very strict guidelines. Even though they didn't know I was queer, they still gave me the freedom to figure out the important things, which was like, what's my alcohol tolerance? How do I avoid blacking out? Like those things were important for them to know that I was doing. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but like they needed to make sure I was safe while also like, so when I went to college, I wasn't just like losing it. Basically. And they learned from my sisters that they had to give me a little bit of freedom, and I think I took that liberty like a little too far.
as partners usually do.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like
you're also in high school,
I'm
like-
so grateful for, yeah, I know. And so I'm very grateful that they were so like open with me, and my mom eventually like, she really wrapped her head around the idea. Like I came out to her first. And I like scared of my dad. Like we don't really talk about emotions with my dad. Like we really don't cover very much with our dad. I think that's common though.
Yeah.
They're always
100%.
meant a few words.
And my mom was like, "Do you want to tell him or am I?" And I was like, you can tell him." I was like, that's the easiest question you could have asked.
Let's just
me.
get it out of the way. You're gonna be in the bed with him.
You,
like, you guys
you
can have
do
that
that
conversation.
when you think it's the right time. So
Yeah.
like my mom came around to the idea when she was like, there are a lot of like gay female doctors out there. And I was like, because it's like you gotta marry a doctor.
If you're not gonna be one, get one.
A crazy thing to say, but also like it meant that she was wrapping her head around accepting that I was gonna marry a woman one day, and so she was
It's
like,
gonna be the best one.
right. So she was like, so then you've got to like do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
Doctor,
You're gonna get the
lawyer.
prettiest woman with the best
One of those
job,
three.
the prettiest face, the kindest
3.
parents, great
Yeah.
personality.
Yeah.
Like the
So
best
she was really
daughter-in-law.
like, she was like, all right, if we're doing it, we're doing it. So
I'm gonna find the one for you.
yeah, so I knew that she was cool with it, and like that was a nice thing. I remember that conversation. I was with my middle sister too, and she was like, "Mom, like what? Like that is a crazy thing to say." And we were both just like what in the Asian American are we doing? And it was really funny. And later on, I was not aware like when my mom told my dad or anything. I just like let her do that. And maybe like for when I was in high school, my dad was working in Long Island. So I rarely ever saw my dad in high school because he was working so hard. And so I just didn't talk to him for 3 months. I remember very vividly being like, I didn't see him. I didn't speak to him. And I couldn't tell if it was like he was purposefully avoiding me.
you.
But I also might have been avoiding him because I didn't want to have that conversation. And then one day he was like at one of our like the one computer in our home, and he was just like, "I love you. You're the same person, and you're still going to college." And I was like, "Okay."
Copy.
And he goes, "Okay." And then he like went back to whatever he was doing. And the words were just like, "I love you. You're still the same person, but you're going to college still." And I was like,
Priorities.
that's what I'm going to do. I was like, literally nothing's changed. And he was like, "Okay." And then he just like went back to whatever he was doing. And he was totally fine. He like was very just there for pretty much everything. Even when I got suspended, he was just like disappointed at me.
That's the worst part.
But my mom, like all of the women in our lives, my mom was the main person who I like spoke with because she did all the care raising stuff when we grew up because my dad was working. And it wasn't until college and my parents knew like I was out. It was fine. We don't really talk about it. I had another girlfriend like the end of my high school life into college. So I had another girlfriend. I was really excited because that was like the first relationship that I felt like I chose a person that I liked.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It wasn't just like an opportunity. It was like, oh, like I actually do really like this person. And I came back for a break from college. It was in June. And my dad was like, and I can't remember if this was maybe my junior year, but my dad was like, "Your parade is this weekend."
That's crazy. Your parade.
He was like, "Your parade is this weekend." And I was like, I was only home for a weekend. And I was like, "What do you mean?" And granted, my parents never let me go to Pride because it was in New York and I was young. And they didn't want me getting in trouble. But like, I get why they wouldn't want me going to Pride.
Like,
but,
this kid's gonna get arrested or something.
right.
Get into
But
a
I
fight.
I think I had turned 21. I had been 21. I could drink. And my dad was like, "Your parade is this weekend." And I was like, literally what parade? Like, it's June. It's not a Macy's Day parade. It's not
Korean
Memorial Day. It's not
parades?
4th of July. I was like, what parade? It's not Christmas. What parade could it be?
Yeah.
And he was just like, the gay one. And I was like, Pride is this weekend? And he was like, yeah. And he had Googled it. He had looked it up. He had seen it, that it was happening. And he wanted to go with me. So I said, yeah, sure. I don't have anything else to do this weekend. So my dad and I went to Pride together. Just the two of us. And we sat there and we got freebies and like 1,300 Chipotle coupons for free meals. And my dad was like,
every summer for this. Every
I'm
summer.
like, yes. And my dad was like, wait, this is kind of sick. And he was like, free stuff. And he was like, this is so fun. And there's rainbows and there's just like happy gay people and performances. And he's just like, wait. And then there's like karaoke happening. And he's like, wait, this is like really fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think he he didn't know how to connect with me. But by happenstance, I was home for a weekend and he was like, maybe this is a way to connect. So we went, we had a really good time. We got dinner like in K-Town and he was like, well, let's go get dinner. So we got dinner. We spent the whole day together at Pride. And then we went home and my mom was like, how was it? And my dad was like, it was so fun. And we like said all the things that we did. And my mom was like, why wasn't I invited? Like she felt left out. So the next year we went again and my mom came this time and my sister came and we just like did the thing. And after that, Pride became like a normal thing for me and my dad to do. Like once a year we'd go to Pride. We went to Pride like the first year I moved back home, like a year or two after college when I moved back to New Jersey, we went to Pride together and my mom was like, I'm coming this time. I don't want to be left out.
Yeah.
But like we wore, like I still have a picture, we wore matching shorts with little rainbows on them.
Aw, that's
And he was
cute.
like so excited.
This
And
is too cute.
like we don't ever talk about me being gay or who
Yeah.
I'm dating or what's happening in like the gay world. But like he is willing to go to something that he knows is important now.
Yeah.
And I think when I
it's-
was younger, they were like, well, heterosexual people don't flaunt that they're dating, right?
Heterosexual.
So like that was used to be their rationale was like, I don't see why you have to like throw it out there for everyone to see.
Yeah.
But now I think after that first Pride and my dad was like, I understand why it's important to know that you're loved and supported. And he's never said that. I want to
No.
be very clear.
Yeah, of course not.
Those words have never been exchanged.
Our dad does
It's
not
been
say that.
exchanged through one or two looks
Yeah.
at
Right.
each other from
Right.
across.
But
a
they
sidewalk.
acknowledge.
But you know,
that
at the
we're
same
friends.
time, like I feel like your dad doing this is like his way, of like bridging that gap and like showing the care. And I think that it's like a really like roundabout way of doing it, but it's like the best that they can do, like as our
Yeah.
parents. Like
Yeah,
so
it
I
was
think,
the way that he could figure out that he was comfortable with
yeah.
Right.
to showing
think
it.
that all of our stories are really different or
Yeah.
kind of similar but different. Like we all like it's again the same thing. We're all so different, but we're all so similar in
Yeah.
that instance. And so I think it's interesting because like that's the whole point of this podcast is like to showcase like our stories and how like individually they're really different but they're all very similar and how people can relate to different aspects of our stories and like we all have very similar parents but like your parents are like kind of like a 0.5 generation who kind of grew up here
Yeah.
partially like our parents really didn't and like the intricacies of that and like so
Yeah. And it's like a wild, I will say, like, you guys grew up with much more Korean traditional parents.
Yeah.
Like, your parents, not your grandparents, your parents are very Korean.
Yeah.
And I think my parents grew up, they grew up like in I told Arlo this, that sometimes I feel like you are living what my mom. But anyway, so
my
it's just,
how
it's
are
really
my
interesting
parents
to me that
traumatized?
like, we're all, again, like Arlo said, we're so different
Yeah.
but like pieces of our stories other people will relate to, like
Yeah.
even if it's like snippets from the three of us.
Yeah. And also, like, we're relating to each other, too. You know, like,
Yeah,
if
for
we
sure.
have those similarities, we hear things, and I'm like, dang, I wish I had that experience of, like, Suyin had, or, like, Arlo and I having shared experiences in certain ways, like, obviously going to the same high school.
I never went to prom. So I didn't go to prom because then I'd have to go with a woman. And that was
Yeah.
like not what I wanted to do.
I mean, I took
So.
a girl that was a friend. Like, it wasn't like she was my interest, like a crush.
Yeah, but
or
you
anything.
wore
It was
like
just,
a
easy.
tux. Like I didn't start
Oh.
wearing, and I guess this will tie into my fashion, whatever. But like
Yeah.
I stopped wearing dresses after I graduated from high school. College, I stopped.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
like 3 days after I graduated from college. I
You're
cut
like,
my hair.
fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I cut my hair after I graduated. And I
Wow.
was like, it's time. I can do it. And like, I don't know anything to anybody because I was still like, my parents
But you
helped
were
me a little
thinking
bit
about it.
through college.
Yeah.
And then I cut my hair. The first haircut was so bad. I went
It's
to some
always bad.
barber
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh and it was bad. I had to go get a second haircut like a few days later to be like, you need to fix this.
Yeah.
And I went to a different barber and I was like, I need an undercut.
Did
I
you
need
look
an
for
undercut.
like more Korean hair cutter
After that,
hairstylists
yeah.
after that?
I learned my lesson the hard way.
Yeah, it's also because like it's so hard to reckon with the idea that like our hair textures are so different in comparison to like
Yeah.
not even just white people, but like in comparison to like black hair as well. Because
Yeah.
we, as Koreans and Asian people, we do tend to have a little bit more coarser hair, and when you're not just cutting like a woman's haircut with layers and long hair and length or whatever, the shorter the hair gets, the weirder it gets. So
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
why so many men in our culture have shitty haircuts too. It's always the same comb over, it's always the
And
same taper.
Yeah.
I will say too though that like the barbershop is a community for a lot of cultures. Like for
Yeah.
black culture, the barbershop is a communal place to be because it takes a long
Yeah.
time for you to do your hair. So you hang out
Right.
at the barbershop.
Yeah.
But like for us, it's what's also a barrier is that if you want a good haircut with Korean hair, you have to go to an ajima.
Yeah.
And you have
I
to go to
don't
the
know. My barber
ajima.
is pretty freaking great. I
Well,
don't like
I
okay,
think it
your
might also
barber
be,
now
like-
doesn't count. That is
Yeah.
so different.
How many barbers have you gone through
You know
to
what I
get to the
mean?
one you have right
But
now?
it's like if
You
you,
know what I mean?
want
One.
if you want a Korean
two.
haircut, if you want a Korean haircut, you have to go to a salon. Like
Yeah.
you have to go and sit down with you have to look
Yeah.
an old Asian woman in the eyes. You have to say, "I want a boy haircut,"
Yeah.
and
Even
that
salons with
is-
non-Asian people.
right is terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
if you want and that's like a whole like adding two barriers is getting into the Korean salon
Mm-hmm.
and hoping they don't judge you when you know
They're judging
they're
you.
judging you.
You have to get
And to
past the
ask for a
hoping they're
haircut.
not judging you, and just be like, I know they're judging me. I don't care. I
But I
need to get
need
what
a good
I
haircut.
want.
Right, I
Yeah.
need a good haircut because those are the only people. At least
You gotta
like
tell them,
maybe
I'm gonna post
10
this on
years ago,
Instagram.
like
I'm gonna
10
tag
years
you in
ago,
it.
You could
Be
get
proud
really
of the
good
work you do.
haircut with Korean people. Like
Yeah.
I think also for hair
is
we can
wild.
do it a continuation. So I think all three of our stories have a lot of similarities and have like people can pick and choose kind of like what resonates with them, and I think that's like the great thing about the podcast is that we can share these stories, and somebody might not have the exact same story that we have, but definitely can resonate with parts of it, and I think that's why visibility is important because it doesn't have to be exactly the same story each time
Yeah.
with the same result, but they can resonate with different parts and kind of still feel like they're being seen.
Yeah. Like
And-
getting to also see like, oh, this experience happened for somebody else. I'm like kind of envious of that.
Yeah.
And like being able to recognize that too, I think is going to be really helpful for other people looking for, like you said, any kind of like jumping off point of like resonation with somebody else's story and feeling less alone.
Yeah, and feeling that sense of comfort.
Yeah.
And I think with that, that'll kind of wrap this episode up.
Killing it.
You know, anyone who wants to follow us on any of the social media, it'll be at Samchun Podcast. And then if they have any emails or questions or something like that, they can send us an email at samchunpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, send us
And-
topics to talk about.
Yeah. And as always, until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and stay unapologetically you. Bye.
Bye. See y'all next time.